No secret at all. Being a parent is tough. There's no rule book, and even the most seasoned pros can get stumped sometimes. That's why we have Dr. G. We asked you to submit some of your most pressing parenting questions online, and parenting expert Dr. Debbie Gilboa, is here with the answers. I have to tell you, Dr. G, when we left the hospital with our first, my husband said, quietly to me,
"Now what?"
Can you believe they're letting us leave here with this thing?
Absolutely.
Like, it hits you all of a sudden as you're carrying the carrier out to the car.
And then you get home and you're like, there's nobody here to tell us what to do.
No one at all. So I wanted to get to this first question. We're kind of in the throes of this with our second, and I know a lot of people are dealing with the same thing. What are your best potty training tips? We're struggling to potty train my daughter. This is a question from one of our viewers.
My most important tip is to not think about whether or not your kid is potty trained by a certain age as a metric of your good parenting. Kids need 4 different skills to be able to potty train.
Okay.
They have to have 4 different factors. They have to have the nerve that lets you feel that you're full, has to be finished myelinating, getting covered, and that happens somewhere between 18 and 36 months old. So you can't even know if they can feel it.
Right.
So they have to be able to feel it. They have to know what it means. Then they have to realize, like, connect that to what they're supposed to go do. Then they have to have the willpower to stop playing or eating or whatever to go do it.
Right.
Which, why would you bother if you're enjoying what you're doing?
Right.
And then they have to have the fine motor skills to, like, get themselves undressed and climb onto the potty, whatever that looks like. So you can see a lot of things have to come together. So the most important thing you can do is wait until your child is really showing interest and try not to take it like your ego is involved in how long it takes them to do this. Kids all learn to do this, but it takes them varying amounts of time.
So even if your parents or your in-laws are saying, oh, you were potty trained
and
at this
people
age,
brag about this, like,
yeah,
they brag about their kids sleeping through the night. And
yeah,
I think, like, karmically speaking, you should not brag about these things.
You know why they're bragging? Because they didn't have to pay for diapers. That's why.
Yeah, totally. And when my 4th child potty trained, that was the party I really wanted to throw because we were done with, but it happens at different ages for different kids.
And so once you get them on the potty, once they've kind of established it, I mean, is there like introducing them initially? How do you know that
they're going to want to be in the
interested?
bathroom when you're in the bathroom,
Okay,
right? And they're going to start to ask about it. The best tip I've used with my kids is to find something they want to do, like class at Gymkhana, that, like, oh, but you can't do that unless you're potty trained. No big deal, up to you, but that's not something we can do until you do this. And then sometimes, if they're developmentally ready, that's enough to get them motivated.
Okay, but they have to understand what you're saying to them too.
Yeah.
So 18 months, maybe a little too...
Often that's really young.
Too young, okay. Kids are getting smartphones and iPads younger and younger and younger, and somebody wrote in, they said, how can I get my kids to put down their devices and interact? They're worried about the socialization and having conversations.
I think technology is wonderful, but I think everything in moderation.
Yep.
And one of the things that we know that kids do is they mimic us. So it means we have to be willing to put down our screens. But another thing is you can just protect certain time. You can say, we don't do screens at our table. We don't do screens while we're doing, if we have family time, like watching a movie together or a game night. Or maybe it's fine for you to have your kid in the room and they can be on their screen, you don't mind.
Right.
You just have to decide for you, what are a few times that you're gonna mark out and say they're not. Another thing that really makes a difference is if your child's having a bunch of friends over, not just a couple, but a bunch of friends, like a birthday party or a sleepover, have a basket and take the phones.
Oh, that's great.
And just say, everybody puts their phone in, and the kids will be like, wait, what? How can I? You know what? We're going to keep this party for the people who are here. We really want you guys to have a chance to enjoy it, but that's our rule. And they'll think it's weird, but they'll absolutely go along with it because it's your house rule. There may be a little pushback, but if you're just kind of like a camp counselor, like, yeah, that's how it is here. I get that it's annoying, and let them get a chance to feel what that feels like.
To be a kid.
They often, yeah, they often enjoy it even more.
I know that even happens with adults. A lot of events they're doing now, they want to collect the phones so that people
phone down, right? Yeah, phone down, face up.
Okay, I've actually heard this question now several times within the last month. A lot of parents are worried about vaping, catching their kids vaping and wondering how they can stop that and punish them accordingly because kids are saying, oh no, there's nothing wrong with it. But there is.
Right. So vaping is for adults who are trying to quit smoking. Vaping is a great way to do that because you can wean down on the amount of nicotine. You can control it because when you go to the store, you order basically how much nicotine you want in there. You could get to 0. You're still basically smoking windshield washer fluid, right? So it's not ideal, but it is safer than cigarettes. But it's not a good idea, and we know that for tweens and teens who vape, they're much more likely to begin smoking as they get older. It is gateway to smoking. So it's not a good idea for kids to vape, but You have to be willing to talk to your kids about what it is and learn about it with them. They're going to feel like they're more knowledgeable about it than you are, and they may be. So go on a reputable website like familydoctor.org or the CDC's website and learn about it with them and show them why you're concerned, and then make your rule and stick to it.
Well, what happens, because teenagers, tweens, very difficult age, they can be very defiant. So how do you make sure that, yes, you have told them this is not okay with me, but how do you make sure that they're not doing it out of your presence?
They absolutely may, right?
Yeah.
We can't control a lot of the decisions our kids are going to make that we worry the most about. We won't be sitting next to them when they make it. So we have to know that they know what we think about it and what the consequences are. So if they decide, you know, my parents told me if I ever tried vaping, I'd be grounded for a week, but it's worth it, I want to try vaping, that's a decision that they're going to make.
Right.
But then you have to stick to the consequence. And feeling hurt and angry and betrayed doesn't actually make that big of an impression on your child, saying, hey, so your health is my responsibility as well as yours. You did this thing that's dangerous for you. Now you get less privileges or less time on your own because I can't trust you to take good care of your health.
Wow. Okay, good stuff. There was one more question I wanted to get to, and this is about the birds and the bees. It's a single mom that writes in. She says that she wants to have this conversation with her son, but she's embarrassed to and doesn't know how to approach it.
And if she's embarrassed, think how embarrassed he'll be when she approaches it. But she has to, because either he can hear about it from her and from social media and from his friends, or he can only hear about it from social media and his friends. So she's got to get her voice in his head, and she can own the fact that it's awkward. She can say, this is super uncomfortable for both of us, but it's too important for me to not do it. I am your mom and I do the right thing, and this is the right thing. And she can ask him, is there another adult that we both trust that you'd like to be a part of the conversation, or that you'd like to talk to instead of me?
Yeah.
But you can't not talk to an adult about this because it's too impactful. It's too meaningful and important.
What about parents providing protection? I know this digs a little bit deeper, but
It
is that
does,
something,
absolutely.
is it condoning the behavior, or are you just ensuring safe sex?
This has to do with the values that you want to pass on in your family. I would say that, and we know from education in schools, that abstinence-only education in schools raises rates of teen pregnancy. So there's some research to show that at home as well, if you deny the fact that being sexually active as a teenager or as a young adult is even a possibility, that sort of denial does not cut down on the risky side effects, right? The diseases and pregnancy that are so often a part of what happens for teens. So I think that saying, this is something I will provide to you, but you also have to have these conversations with me about why I want you to wait and how long I think you should wait, and means I'm going to be in your business about this. But some parents may feel like that's sending the wrong message. But just keep in mind that wishful thinking is a terrible strategy to prevent teen pregnancy.
Okay, good stuff, Dr. G, as always. And we want to thank Dr. G for being here today. For more of her helpful parenting advice, you can check out her books. We'll have a link to her site with more information posted at kdka.com/PTL.